Hey, what's going on, folks? Welcome to Science Grade 8. And actually, we're doing a double recording for this video, so actually, probably some of the 9th grader science students will be watching the same video. And if you're here this morning, I want you to say, what's up? Actually, it's not this morning, it's 11:45, but, say what's up, you guys. We're going to go over this test. You know, the test that I basically gave you guys the entire class last time to do in class. Well, I figured that you guys would have been done with it right by now, and so this is a Explore test. So you know that test, the test that you guys are going to be taking next week, the Explore test you guys are taking next week. Here's an old one. So this is an old science part of your test. So what I want you guys to do is just kind of think, okay, well, if after I go over it, if you find this easy, that's what your test is going to be like. All right? So it's kind of hopefully calming down your nerves so you don't freak out. All right, anyway, let's do this thing. I need to zoom in because it's hard to see, but it's still a little blurry, so I apologize. I'm just doing my best. I'm going to go through this. Let's go through question 1, and while I'm talking, you can ask your questions in the chat. Victoria, go for it. Ask your question. I'll read it and try to process it while I'm doing this. All right, you ready? Pull out your test if you have them. If not, just kind of watch what's going on, and we'll do this. Let's see. Why do we have to be at the school for 3 hours if this test is only 30 minutes? Victoria, the reason why you have to be at the school for 3 hours and the test is only 30 minutes is because the science portion is only one part of the Explore test. There are 4 parts. There's a English, there's a math, there's a reading, and there's a science. And the science is the shortest of those tests. So I'm prepping you for the science part. Hopefully your math teacher is prepping you for the math test and whatnot. And actually, you know what? Here's the thing, is you guys are saying, oh my goodness, that's a long test, a 3-hour test. That's kind of standard when it comes to these kinds of tests. They're called standardized tests. I mean, it's kind of standard. And I think the biggest advantage of having you guys take this test is you'll get used to what Natalie is bringing up. She's talking about the SATs and the ACTs. These are tests that you're going to need to take in your junior and senior year. And really, I think that the thing that kills people on the test, and I'm teaching a class, I'm actually simultaneously teaching a class right now. I've got my juniors and seniors working on the actual ACT practice exam right now. They're doing a 3-hour day where they're just sitting in and taking practice tests because they got to take their ACT test next week. But I think that the thing that really kills people is that they just aren't ready for a 3-hour test. They don't have the stamina. So that's what I'm trying to build in you guys, is this ability to take these tests. Now, is the test the best way to measure how smart you are? No. This test really has no bearing on how smart you are. But this is the best solution that they could come up with, the colleges. So for the most part, even though I don't necessarily agree with having everything be standardized tests. I think that I can assess whether or not somebody understands what they're talking about when I talk to them and whatnot. Even though I don't agree with that, it's a necessary evil that I feel like I have to prepare you for. And it would be good for me as a teacher to prepare you for. With that said, let's turn to passage 1. We've got 6 of these to go through, so stop, stalling me for time. I need to get through all of this in an hour. All right, so my strategy for taking this test is this. For the science test, just read the questions. I'm not the questions, just read the passage. Start off by reading the passage. Don't worry, and here's my problem, is I get so worried in trying to figure out like every single thing about the thing, and they're saying, okay, you're going to build this circuit, and then we have this many resistors and capacitors, and I'm trying to figure out the science, and I look at it, and I'm reading it. As I read it, I try to read it as if it's a textbook and all of that kind of stuff, and then the question asks me something like, what is the x-axis of the graph? And I was like, I didn't need to know anything about that experiment to tell you that information. So don't slow yourself down with trying to understand every single thing that they're saying. Just read it. If there's a graph, Take 2-3 seconds to look at it, understand what the parts of the graph are, and then move on and then answer the questions. And you'll find that this test is mind-blowingly cool. All right, you ready? I'm going to read it to you. Ready? Scientists studied how conditions at Lake A change as the depth of the water changes. All right, cool. They collected samples of lake water at the lake's surface and at 1 meter intervals below the lake's surface. For each sample, the scientists determined that the concentration of phytoplankton, what are phytoplankton? Well, they'll tell you. They're microscopic organisms that use sunlight to make food. Okay, they're plants. Got it. And the concentration of dissolved oxygen. See figures 1 and 2. Okay, so this one's phytoplankton. Let me just kind of do this and then do one of these and then give me a second. All right, phytoplankton, dissolved oxygen. Got it. The scientists measured at 1 meter intervals below the lake surface and the percent of sunlight that penetrated the water. So here's the sunlight. That's figure 3. And look, 1 meter intervals, so that means they went at the surface and they measured the phytoplankton. Any phytoplankton over here? Nope. Okay. They go down 1 meter. Any phytoplankton under here? Yeah, no, not really. Any phytoplankton over here? And they go down all the way to 5 meters. And they're like, oh, all the phytoplanktons are hanging out over here. And then they go down and down and down and down. Cool? There. That's pretty much all you need to know about the problem. Let's go to the questions. You guys got it? Now, I'm sorry that it's a little laggy. Make sure you let me know if you can't understand what I'm talking about. All right, okay, ready? According to figure 1, all right, let's look at figure 1 again. All right, the Lake A water sample collected between the following depths is most likely to contain the greatest concentration of phytoplankton. 3 to 4 meters, 5 to 6 meters, 7 to 8 meters, and 9 to 10 meters. I'm going to view, zoom out, and we'll take a look. Here's figure 1. Look, highest concentration of phytoplankton looks to me like right around 5 and 6, so I'll just say B, 5 and 6. Are we cool? Boom. Yep, that's it. See, I didn't need to know anything about how phytoplankton is created or all of that kind of stuff. I just need to look at the graph and say, oh, interesting. All right, can you guys see this if I read it from here? I know it's small. I apologize. I can't get like a middle version of it. All right, okay. I'll read it to you. And you guys can kind of just trust that I'm reading to you guys the right thing. All right, I'll read it to you. You listen. How's that? A scientist claimed that there was not enough sunlight for the phytoplankton to survive at 12 meters. Does figure 3 support this? Okay. We'll look at 12 meters. And looking at figure 3. And figure 3 is measuring what? I'll zoom in if you